sports and TV show streams going live on YouTube, streaming live on YouTube. So this is the Buckeyes, the Sooners, and ASU, which is probably like Arizona State University. Now I press the play button.
Welcome to the Covelli Center on the campus.
This is a tri-meet.
In the very first men's gymnastics competition.
Oh, I guess Ohio State Buckeyes are the home team.
And it is quite an opener for the Ohio State Buckeyes as they're going up against two nationally ranked teams. In fact, Oklahoma, the Sooners, have been one of the most dominant programs in the nation. They had a string of 4 consecutive national championships broken last year when they finished a close second to Stanford. But once again, they are ranked number 1 in the nation coming into this matchup. And they won the Rocky Mountain competition to open their season against the likes of number 5 Nebraska, number 6 Minnesota, number 13 Air Force, number 17 Washington. You'll note the presence of Big Ten programs in the top 10 there. Arizona State, they come in as number 8 ranked team. They've actually participated as a club program for 25 years, but that doesn't mean that they're not one of the top programs in the country, and they won the USA Gymnastics Men's Collegiate Nationals last year. Ohio State picked to finish 6th in the Big Ten, and it's our good fortune, unfortunately, obviously, that Max Andrushenko for Ohio State is not able to participate in the competition today, but we're very glad to have you here. And I was just running down how strong these two opponents are to face Ohio State today, so it's a great opportunity to go up and match your skills against them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oklahoma, very, very strong program. Of course, they had that run through a very long time, I believe 4 years, consecutive wins. They've been just a dominant program. Different team this time. We'll see how things go for them, but also a very different Ohio State team as well. A lot of youth on this team, a lot of talented freshmen and underclassmen. I'm excited to see what they do.
Ohio State will be starting on the floor, and you see them warming up. And then over to their right on the rings, we will have the Arizona State Sun Devils. Oklahoma will be beginning on the pommel horse, and they are also going through their touch warm-up right now as we speak. One interesting aspect of this matchup is there are 2 coaches in all of men's gymnastics that have won gold medals, and they're both here right now.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Ohio State head coach Rustam Sharipov, as well as assistant coach of University of Oklahoma, Valerie Gachara, both actually won gold medals at the Olympic Games on the parallel bar. So we'll see how that matchup goes for us tonight.
You mentioned Ohio State having a very young squad. Last year they finished 6th in the Big Ten. This year picked to finish similarly. What is the mentality, the mindset of a really young squad when they know that they're up against, you mentioned, 2 other Big Ten teams in the top 10. Obviously the teams they're going up here against today, a chance to match yourself against the best in the nation. And these are all outstanding gymnasts in their own right. What is their mindset right now?
Of course, they believe it's more of a fresh start. Unfortunately, not qualifying to the NCAA finals for the last 2 years. This team senses that it's a brand new team. They have a whole different mentality, a lot of hope in these young athletes. They're very much looking forward to a great season for everybody.
We continue to watch the warm-ups. They just concluded it. One famous old coach once said the main objective is not to win the warm-up. You don't want to leave your game in the locker room, but what are they trying to accomplish as they go through that?
Obviously, it's hits. Hits are going to be the main thing for today. The team that hits the most routines is the team that's going to win at the end of the day. So execution, along with difficulty score, is going to be the most important thing. But obviously, hits.
Dexter Repker on the floor for Ohio State. Of course, I think from a fan standpoint, the floor exercise probably one of the most popular and among the gymnasts, I think.
Yes, sir, definitely. It's one of my favorite words for sure. Dexter, incredibly hard work as you see with to start off the routine. Looking real good so far. Another very solid win. You see how much control this man has in his full routine. has a very good sense of where he is in the air. Just a very hard worker in the gym. You can
Full routine, a combination of just grace and power. And maybe even a little bit more on the power end for the men, but a lot of grace too.
He has had very solid landings on all of his passes so far. Looking very and another one right there. Just got one more to go. Should be a back 2.5 twist coming up projection.
All the cheering going on, the encouragement from the fans and his teammates right there.
What a start. He'll be very happy with that. Excellent first floor routine ever in the brand new Covelli Arena for Ohio State.
Yep, that'll be a memorable one. It'll go down in history. And now we go to the pommel horse. We've got Grant Kell.
Yeah, Grant Kell, another very excellent pommel horse worker.
Pommel horse to the right. If we pan right from the floor, that's down low right. That's the pommel horse. There we are.
You see the extension that he has, very fluid swing. Usually the longer gymnasts, the taller people are very good on the pommel horse. They have a very good line, a great set from him to start off the competition.
Just had that slight hesitation there in the middle of that very fluid performance. And now we go to the rings. And Arizona State will start there with Flint Morenstein.
Yeah, Arizona State, definitely the underdog in this competition, but they do have an incredible amount of talent on their team as well. I'm excited to see what kind of team they put up over here. Very solid to begin with, and got better style playing.
They were a power in NCAA competition until they ceased to be a varsity program, but they continued as a club program for 25 years.
Yeah, you can definitely see the strength in this man right here. 2 planche skills to begin the routine and absolutely no hesitation at all. Very solid handstands as well. Rings turned out, arms free of the straps.
He has straight legs and pointed toes at all times, maintaining that and a stuck landing.
A little step on the landing.
Yeah, there's a step there right after the initial.
Spoke a little earlier.
Yeah,
Sometimes
spoke too
happens
soon.
when you stick the landing but then lift the chest up a little bit. That sometimes tends to happen. But a 13.8 projects her on the floor. Absolutely massive number. I love that.
Okay, team scores. Ohio State got 13-8. Oklahoma has a 12.75. Oklahoma men's gymnastics, they win a lot of meets.
National team.
So I doubt whether Ohio State's gonna win, even though they're the home team. But who knows?
Not parallel to each other.
This is a tri-meet, so it's like 3 teams.
Very good on this event. An excellent dismount. Did not touch the horse at all with his feet. Very happy with that.
Very clean routine there. He was an All-American as a freshman. Certainly has that kind of future capability as well. So we go back to the floor with Ohio State.
Now this is Ricky Trombley here, out of Latvia. Very far away, obviously, from where we're at right now, but another very talented gymnast. A lot of experience from him. He's been a member of the World Championship team in Latvia. He sets up for a pass, should be triple full. 1, 2, 3. Very solid landing, 1 step out of bounds, but he'll be very happy with that routine. Ricky last year only competed pommel horse, but today he's scheduled to do 3. So a very big upgrade from him. He's been putting a lot of work in the gym.
Mentioned our 2 gold medal coaches, and your father from the Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union back in the day, and Latvia was part of that. Obviously a lot of great gymnasts, and you see why they did so well in
Of course.
international competition. As we go back now to the rings.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of international presence, more and more of that coming into the sport, especially in the NCAA. Just shows the evolution of our program.
Esteban Montiel is on the rings for the Sun Devils.
nice young walk. He does not show the support on the rings. You don't want to see that on those double flipping skills. Little elbows in on the handstand. Unlike the last performer, you can see a little bit more turned in. Little fight going on over here, but I do believe she's got the dismount coming up. Full twist and double. Solid landing.
Just a little forward lurch, but was able to steal himself and bring it home well as we go back now to the pommel horse. Sean Doherty from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Yeah, looking very good. Also, just like the previous two performers, going in for a double Russian, a little bit low on the wing swing out. You're supposed to go at least 45 degrees up. Gonna be a slight deduction there.
Ohio State, Justin Achow is on the floor.
This man right here, Justin Achow, very talented individual. Has an unfortunate error right there, but like I said, this man, a lot of talent behind him. Was the alternate to the Youth Olympic Games. Multiple-time member of the junior national team.
Great all-around gymnast, performs very well on the bar and the pommel horse as well as the floor.
And you can see he's very light in the air, very springy. And that right there is one of the, in my opinion, one of the most difficult skills in all of gymnastics. It's called a mana. You have to pretty much hold yourself up with your arms completely behind your back. It's very difficult to do.
Movements as precise as a Baryshnikov.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Russians.
Another very solid landing from him. One more pass coming up. Very nice triple full step to the side. Except for that error, very good routine.
You can tell by the reaction, they're always going to try to pump up their teammate, but when they know they really stuck it, they had a clean routine, the spontaneity of the congratulations always tips off that they're happy with it.
Yeah, and I believe that is key, especially in a sport like gymnastics, where momentum plays an absolutely huge role in the outcome of a competition.
Austin Jones on the rings. And then we see the pommel horse activity going on as well. Down below, we can catch both in the screen.
Yeah, at these tri-meets, a lot of stuff like that happens, you know, routines at the same time, which really brings the energy to the competition. As Oklahoma finishes up, it's a very nice set. And ASU, just an unfortunate dismount there. Seemingly good routine, but slightly over-rotated on the dismount.
And if you're watching us from Oklahoma and you want to watch your gymnasts and from Arizona State, it's good that we can show multiple events going on at the same time so you can see what you tuned in for. And you also have to keep your focus that way because you start to hear the crowd erupt because of something going on beside you, and it can be a little distracting if you're not really dialed in.
Definitely, you have to be very zoned in for that.
And now we go to the floor. Jacob Murray.
Yeah, you can see another freshman in the lineup. Jacob Murray, very powerful gymnast, got a lot of big tumbling, a lot of double flipping elements. Very talented gymnast as well. I really like his power on the floor. Another gymnast that works very hard in the gym. I'm excited to see what he'll put up here.
So he is awaiting the start sign just to the left of your screen while we see the athletes warming up. It is Braden Collier. He's a very strong pommel horse specialist for Oklahoma. And on the rings for Arizona State,
50.8, 34.7, 27.35. Ohio State is in third
Very
place.
strong position.
They must not have had their
Very
scores
difficult.
updated.
yeah, Christian
They're way
Jens listed
behind.
number 8, but he's out there now at the moment.
And you see how he opens up his hands in that iron cross position.
Must have been
Showing that there's
updated because
absolutely no
now
possible
they're only 10
skill.
points behind.
That's
50.8
definitely a sign
to
of a strong performance.
40.45 to 34.2. Oh.
pommel horse moves through the routine very good in the travels. Only very mild form breaks, but looking very good so far.
Braden Collier did outstanding in his very first performance ever as an Oklahoma Sooner. Had a little bit of a break there, but then recovered in a good dismount. And now action on the floor is Jacob Murray.
Goes through that whip 2.5, another very hard connection pass. Just a front fold down the side. By the time you see the easier passes done towards the end of the routine, followed up by a big dismount. Another very good landing from him.
And at this point, you go through those exhausting, tumbling passes, and you try to get your breath a little bit too, but you still have to perform these difficult tumbling routines, gymnastics routines.
Yeah, and that's huge because there is a difficulty requirement on the dismount, and that usually has to be one of the harder skills in your routine. And to do it at the end of a set like he just did,
He nailed that.
a stuck full twisting double back. Gonna be very happy with that dismount.
Jacob Murray's also very good on the parallel
63.6.
bars. He was third in the scarlet and gray competition. You like to see gymnasts with all-around capabilities, although it's good to have specialists do
for
sometimes.
Arizona State.
Now we have
Ohio
David
State's in
Sandro
third place.
on the pommel horse.
Yeah, even more international presence on pommel horses. David Sandro is out of Canada. Very talented gymnast. You can see the line that he has as well. Very precise with his hand motions. Very difficult skill called a tong fei, reaching over both of the pommels. Starting to slow down just a little bit, but not at that dismount flight, right up. Very solid routine from David. We're back on the rings more. Very nice Yamawaki skill. Front giant sled bent in the arms.
Don't try that at home, though.
Definitely not. Simple double back tuck dismount, but paid off because a stuck landing for him.
You can always salvage a routine. I think that's one of the most important things for a gymnast is if they do have a little bit of a glitch at some point to stay dialed in to do well the rest of the routine.
Of course, that's very important if you want to. You have to maintain your focus throughout the entire set. No breaks allowed. And that's where the hit comes in.
That's why that real tremendous mental focus is required compared to perhaps in other sports where you can lament a mistake and then get back into it again. We go back to the floor here now. Kazuki Hayashi.
Yeah, this man is a very fast twister. As you can see right there, very solid control. That's a very difficult that's a very difficult pass to stick. You can see he opens up early to find his feet. And again, very solid landing. You see the floatiness, very high rebound that really takes him out of his team. Yeah, you can see why. Very good control. Very fast twisting. Like right there, finishes so early that he can open up a spot in the ground before planting his feet for that stick.
This is where the artistic aspect of it comes in, and that's part of it too. You want to make that impression.
Yeah, and the non-acro can actually be very challenging. That is a requirement in the floor exercise. And after doing so much big tumbling that requires a lot of energy, you really have to learn how to slow down and control yourself in that non-acro. As he sets up for his last pass, triple full, and absolutely nailed.
Now, when he claps and pumps his fist, you know he's happy with it.
Oh, of course.
And the crowd erupts.
Triple full is a very, very satisfying dismount to stick, I'll tell you right now. And that was a huge set for Kazuki.
If you look at the bios of a lot of the gymnasts for all the schools, they say what's their most satisfying recollections. Most of them say sticking a difficult maneuver at the end of a routine and having the crowd go crazy. That is at the top of the list.
Definitely, that's the last thing that the judges see as we move back to Arizona State on the rings. Very level positions you saw in the beginning of the Maltese, and opens up his hands once again. Very solid through the planche. Ring's completely turned out, no pressure on the cables. Very good swing as well. It's very common to see a lot of those bigger, bulkier dudes who are very strong. They don't typically have the best swing, but this guy can do both. As you can see by that big double dismount, they'll be happy with that.
You know, a lot of these, we said, they're the national club champions at Arizona State. And when you think about club sports, maybe in some other sports you think about it as guys who are just playing recreationally, but most of these gymnasts, they cut their teeth and they maintain their competitive level in clubs all through their life.
Yeah, definitely. And this is 100% a sport where if you take just a couple of days off, you begin to lose skills, feel out of shape. This is one of the most challenging sports out there, and you have to maintain a grind consistently.
So that concludes Arizona State on the
Now
men's.
Ohio State's
we have one
on
more
top
competitor
with
on the floor,
67.35,
Saskatchewan and Canada. We
64.75,
just saw David Sands on the
58.55
out of
for the
Canada.
Sun Devils.
And another
Sun
incredibly
Devils
talented
third,
gymnast in
Ohio,
Jesse.
Oklahoma second, and
When
Ohio
I talk
State.
about control, this is the definition of it. Very good air sense, very good balance and coordination. Incredibly difficult pass right there. Front double full into a 1.5. A lot of twisting going on there.
He was an NCAA qualifier last year.
Got to that punch full, a little bit under rotated. But
Turn the
still
radio
managed to find a
up
clean landing
for
from
that
there.
sweet
His
sound.
double flipping skills
Hold
absolutely
me
nailed right
close,
there.
never
He had
let
the best floor
me
routine at the
go.
NCAA's, or he had his personal best he recorded in the NCAA competition, which shows that he rises to the
Singing the
occasion.
Eric Carmen
this guy is
song, make me lose
no slouch when it comes to pressure.
control.
He has nerves of steel. He's very cool, calm, and collected.
And it goes with the territory in this sport.
Oh, of course.
Every time you step out there, all eyes are on you, and there's a lot of pressure on at any level.
He's got one more pass coming up. Should be another triple full. If he stands this one up, I know that the team will go loud. Boom. Very, very solid routine from Jesse.
So that is the first rotation. And the team score is being tabulated. Arizona State received a 61 for their ring performance. Oklahoma State was 64.750 on the pommel horse, and Ohio State 67.350 on the floor. One thing that has to be kept in mind as you look at the scores accumulate throughout the meet is who has what event still remaining in front of them.
Of course, that's a big factor when it comes to gymnastics.
I mean, Ohio State still got
Well, every
pommel
night's sport is
horse,
the
you
same,
know,
but
and
there are a
pommel
lot more
horse is a
opportunities
tough
on other
event.
events to have many more little deductions. And
So
in my
of course
opinion, one of those
Oklahoma's
very
going to be a
crucial
couple
events will
points
be
behind.
The last one
They
for the
started
Buckeyes
out
and
on a
the
tough
Pommel
event.
That
Pommel
might be the
horse.
deciding factor.
Pommel
in this
horse
competition
is
because
like-
there's so many
It
opportunities
would be
for
like the women
just
starting
angles
off on
and
balance
very
beam.
minor things that can just add up.
Because a lot of
Ohio
women
State
fall
off to a
off
great
the
start so
balance
far.
beam in
And that
gymnastics.
Serves as
Well, a lot
momentum
of
as they
men
continue
fall
to
off the
go through
pommel
this
horse.
competition. Now the teams are going to warm up at their next event, so when we return to action, we'll be right back with you here on BTN Plus. Back and ready to go. They updated the scoring, the final floor exercise for Ohio State, so they came in at 68.950, so that's a very good start for the Buckeyes.
And yeah, at the beginning of the season, there's a 6 up, 5 count format, which means there's 6 men up to compete and only 5 of those scores count. So after Jesse's final performance there,
Turn
that
the
was, they
radio
were able
up
to raise the score
for
back
that
to 2
sweet
points.
sound. Hold me close, never let me go.
As we are on the floor exercise with Arizona State, big tumbling in that double front.
This is Dalton Hopkins for the Sun Devils.
Now the Sun Devils are on the floor
Very nice 2.5 punch
exercise.
layout, solid landing there.
Is Ohio State on the pommel horse now? I guess
You could also
Oklahoma's
see the
going
control in
to
this
the
gymnast.
rings now.
Very good air sense, knows when to open up to find his feet. And that's what I mean when I talk about the slowing down aspect. After doing all this tumbling, 2 little steps like that can really add up, but it's looking to be a good floor routine so far.
For most people, doing a handstand is not a relaxing activity, but in the midst of this routine, it is.
Yeah, for all of these guys, they've been doing this for so long. Right handstand is just basic at this point. Unfortunate error on the dismount, just a little under rotated. Could have rebounded a little bit more on that triple full, but very good foundation. I'm sure he'll be able to pick that up in the future.
And if you come in just a little too fast or a little out of control, sometimes it's an unforgiving landing. There's a lot of springiness on that mat.
And Luke Smigliani here on the pommel horse, very strong gymnast, and unfortunately misplaced his hand.
A fall
Pommel
for
horse is a event
Ohio
where
State
precision
already.
is key. You have to place your hand in the right spots, and as you see there, just a large error on that skill.
The thing about the pommel horse is there's no opportunity to just come to a break and hold your position. You're completely fluid at all times, and once again, you have to be in rhythm at all times, or that can happen.
This is what I mean with the strength aspect. Very difficult skills. Called a woo right there. Should be one more. This is a Roth. You see the struggle. He's getting tired, but hit the rest of the set.
And he gave a little bit of an exhale when he was through there, but you did a good job sticking with that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a relief to finally get through it after a fall like that. After you fall once, you cannot afford to do it again. Very good finish for Luke.
We go to the rings for Oklahoma, Vitaly Kumaris.
Yeah, we saw Vitaly on pommel horse in an excellent routine. Rings is an event where he is super clean.
All-American, he scored above 14 in all 4 events at the NCAAs.
Yeah, you can see the lines in the toe point. Very solid handstand, very fluid swing. You can see why this man has been a member of the junior national team so many times. Big double,
what a dismount.
Excellent dismount right there. Very beautifully done from Vitaly.
Won national titles on the floor in the vault, USA Gymnastics in 2018, and you see there he's outstanding on the rings as well. And back to the floor.
This is Esteban Montiel from ASU. Very solid tumbling. He's a very quick gymnast. And on an event like floor, that can be very helpful. Solid pass down the side. That's generally a pass you see done down the diagonal.
The flexibility there. Wow.
Very stylish. Not too many flares being done on the floor exercise anymore in the NCAA.
Very high entertainment value to this routine. He's a performer.
Good pass to set up the dismount. The bell means there's 10 seconds to go in the routine. There is a time limit on floor. 1, 2, 3. Very good routine from Esteban right there. Chest a little low on that dismount, but I'm sure he'll be happy with that one.
It was certainly fun to watch. That's absolutely certain. So we now get ready for the continuation on the pommel horse and on the rings. And for Oklahoma on the rings is Spencer Goodell. And for Ohio State on the horse, Robert Costa.
Yep, Bobby, as they call him for Ohio State, is a very clean performer on the pommel horse. You can see giving up very little on this routine.
Another fall.
Really see how it's going. What happens to cause that sometimes when you really look like you're in the zone and then all of a sudden you're not?
Yeah, you see pommel horse is an event where there is absolutely no time for a breather. There's events like rings where you can hold a handstand or an L or a strength position where you can kind of stop and think about your next move. But pommel horse is continued motion. And if you take your mind off the skill for 1 second, you can mess up like that.
Excellent dismount there by Goodell on the rings. And now he's back up and at it again.
Yeah, Bobby giving away very few deductions other than that fall, setting up a triple rush and dismount. Very well done.
Yeah, I've heard it described with a pommel horse that you have to almost be in a daze where you're not like thinking of any one particular thing, but you just have to kind of have the whole routine sort of in your mind at a given time. It's an interesting mentality you need to be successful there.
Yeah, you definitely have to learn how to almost shut your mind off and let your body do the work on pommel horse. If you start to overthink, that can be a real challenge for your team.
And here we go now, back to the floor. It is Arizona State. This is Chris Barty.
Very big tumbling, a very difficult pass, front double full punch, front full. And this is a new rule on floor exercise. You can now do skills like the front full twist in a layout and a tuck position. You were not able to do that before, and this man taking advantage of that right there.
What do you think is the reasoning behind
Now
the change
Oklahoma's got the lead. 91-3 to 85 to 80. Now Ohio State's in third.
Tumble into much bigger.
Well, actually, there's a lot of score jumping in this
the
meet.
Federation kind of wanted to see a little bit more variation
But
from them. So
all
they
that matters is what the final
change
score
it to a B
is.
instead of a C, which gives you 1/10 less in start volume.
And there's like 6 rotations in a
Triple
men's
full, very
gymnastics
nicely done
meet, and this
to
is
finish up 13.
rotation 2.
Yeah, he was happy with it. We go back to the rings now.
So there's 4 more
This is
rotations
Alosha
after
Vernier.
this.
He's one of the top performers for Oklahoma.
Yeah, another gymnast has been part
Now
of the
Ohio
national
State's
team
up
for
in
many
the
years.
lead again,
A lot of talent behind this man as
92-75
well.
to
He was first in
91-3.
the all-around in the Mountain Open competition to start the season.
Yeah, and we also have Curtis Chang on the pommel horse, pommel specialist. Very hard worker in the gym, puts in a lot of work on just this one event. And you can see right here, flowing very nicely. Goes into his most difficult skill, called the McGillney. He's got 3 more skills to go. Magyar Savata right here. 1 more skill coming up, the dismount. Very nice from Curtis.
That was sensational.
And a big reaction from Kaz, one of the biggest energy on the entire roster is assistant coach Casimiro Suarez.
Michael Chan, the co-captain, won the bar in the ball at the 15 Junior Olympic Nationals, 7th all around, great gymnast.
Okay, now the Sun Devils 98-95.
David Sandro
Ohio
now
State
on the rings for Oklahoma.
After a great pommel set from him, I'm excited to see what he does on still rings. As we go back to
The
Arizona
scores
State,
haven't
well,
been updated
on
yet.
floor. Very nicely done in the beginning there. Very floaty, very good rebound on that tumbling pass.
Anthony Mills.
Got a huge double layout for the second pass. You see the height. This man's tumbling.
Anthony Mills is a national vault champion 2 times in a row.
And a lot of times, gymnasts who are good at the vault are very good at the floor exercise as well. They're very similar.
That
in
approach on the tumbling passes and so forth.
At tumbling facets like that.
Now
You
Ohio
definitely see the power
State's got 105,
This floor team.
Oklahoma 104.
Again, just opens up very early to see the ground before landing.
See Sandro on the ring.
Very nice upright straddle bench. Little struggle. Pull it out nicely. As Mills with a triple full. Very big. Just slightly under rotated, but great set from him. And right up to the handstand is David Sandro. And we also have Ricky Trons on pommel horse.
A
David
little
Sandro
hard
with
to
an
add.
excellent dismount. Stuck double A out with a full twist.
You always want to end with a flourish, and he did it there.
Ricky going for a very nice set. Just got one more skill coming up, and beautiful dismount from him.
He loved it.
So happy with that routine.
And he gets a not just an embrace, but a bear hug.
Yeah, this man's been through it all. A lot of struggles last year with his pommel set, and he's been working very, very hard in the gym, and that has definitely paid off.
You know, the skills are just incredible, and just even for people coming to watch the event, regardless of the scores they get, just the athleticism and the execution is really amazing. Just to be at the level to be in this kind of competition is really something. And then you've got in Oklahoma one of the very elite teams. In fact, they had 121 meet winning streak
Now
last
Arizona
year.
State's
Yeah,
got the
first or
lead,
second in the NCAA's every year since 2014, and they won it 4 years in a row. That's the kind of squad they
to
are.
Yeah, it's just
104-4.
a very impressive statistic in my opinion.
Now
If you go to
Oklahoma's
Keelan
in
Watts
third, Ohio State's
on
in
floor,
second.
this is a
Arizona
very
State
dynamic gymnast.
First.
Member of the national team
There's
many
a lot of
times.
score jumping in this meet.
Two-time
why.
national junior
Now
all-around champion.
Oklahoma's
That's
got
a big pass.
118.
Double front with a half
Arizona
turn, stuck
State
it cold.
112.
Near that
and a
huge
five for
double-double.
Ohio
Another
State.
great landing from him. You see why this guy is on national team. Very big power from this man. And that is a massive pass as well. Front full into the double front.
He had a shoulder injury that kept him
Now
out for a
Ohio
year. He almost
State's
gave
got
it up at one point, but he
118,
sure came back
6'5"
strong.
to 118,
He's doing passes that not many people here will do at all. Another very good landing from him. Should be setting up the dismount, I believe. As we got Justin Achow on the pommel horse. We saw his floor. Let's see if we can pick it up from there. As Keelan Watts, huge.
Now this is
double
a
dive approach,
three-wing
that's a
circus. Because, I mean,
That's
like,
dismount
while
off the ring
the
routine.
guy
He's
was on
really going on the
pommel horse,
now.
Yeah, you see
the
many
other
people
guy
do
was
Magnus
doing
Salvato,
rings,
but
and the other guy
nobody
was
does it
doing
in a
floor
flare position like
exercise.
he just did.
But now,
Very big
the only
talent.
one doing
Into the dismount,
is
slight
the guy doing
hesitation,
the pommel.
but they will be happy with that.
I think pommel horse is one of the events where we talk about it's important which events you've still got in front of you. To be able to be strong on the pommel horse is very important in the overall standings.
Yeah, and in my opinion, one of the biggest challenges in gymnastics is coming back from floor exercise, a very long and exhausting routine, and going to an event that's all upper body, pretty much all triceps. Very good job from these gymnasts so far on the pommel horse.
So keeping an ongoing track of the team scores, 118.650 for Ohio State, 118.150 for Oklahoma. Arizona State at 112.50.
Yeah, incredibly close competition between the top two right now. But as we mentioned, Oklahoma has already passed pommel horse, which is why the pressure is on for Ohio State. And up next for them, All-American last year, 4th at the NCAA championships. Trevor Cummings, just unbelievable talent.
Must be something training with athletes of this caliber on a daily basis.
Oh, unbelievable. Everybody pushes each other, and especially with this level of talent.
Trevor was third in the pommel horse in the Scarlet and Gray competition behind Justin Achow and Ricky Trams, who we've already seen excel on this event. See the
Now
concentration
Ohio
as
State's
he
got
gets ready to mount.
131.
Total focus is required.
5'5" to
And you can see the lightness in his
118,
swing. Very fast, very fluid.
12.
This guy's a competitor. Very
Now,
difficult skill to begin with.
Arizona State's got 125 to
And
Ohio
unfortunate
State.
error right there. That is one of the most difficult skills in all of gymnastics, in my opinion. It's called full care, also known as a sewn. And the reason it's so challenging, you have to put your hand backwards on the pommel and do a full spin while
He must
maintaining
have
pressure
fell off.
above your wrist.
Or maybe
Very
he didn't
risky
fall
element, and
off.
unfortunately did not pay off there. As Arizona State
Yeah, he did fall
on
off.
the floor
so
with
he's
a
getting back.
very intricate pass.
Nick Garcia.
You never see triple connections anymore. He knows to do it all. He should fly off the hands with his dismount action. He does incredible routine other than that fall. Should be disappointing for him, but you can definitely see the potential.
Yeah, that's what they're building for. This is the opening competition of the season. There's a long season still to go, and you're building up to a peak as the season progresses.
Definitely. Just this being the first meet, there's still plenty of work to be done from every team out here on the floor.
How much better are you by, say, NCAA time as a gymnast in terms of confidence, in terms of execution, than you are at this point of the year?
It is a surprising difference. A lot of gymnasts tend to get much better towards the end of the season, not only because they work the routine more, but because their mental game is improved. The mental side of gymnastics is something that's very much overlooked, and that is a huge aspect to competing well, especially on an event like Pommel Horse, where you have to learn how to let your body do the work and not overthink things at all. And with so many competitions back to back to back, that really builds up your confidence. You learn how to compete well.
You know, in certain sports like swimming, for example, where they'll actually like taper their athletes, and the whole objective is to get them to the very top of their performance at the time they need to do it. Is there something similar in the training regimen in gymnastics?
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with that. And Trevor Cummings, very big score with a fall.
133.45.
That goes to show what we said. Keep the focus after a mistake and could still pay off.
2-0 to 118.
Honestly, not much to deduct in that routine other than the fall.
133.45 to 130.25 to 125.
Oklahoma back at it.
Oklahoma's in second
Rings.
place. Ohio State's in first place.
Colin Kellogg. He's the final performer here.
That is a textbook straddle plunge right into a Nakayama, also known as a bounce cross.
He's a ring specialist.
And you can see why. Perfectly level iron cross with the hands open.
He's at a 14.5 is a career high, which is outstanding.
That is a massive number. Right up to the handstand. Very good control. Barely any movements from him. Right in the giant. Definitely can see why this man is a ring specialist. And even little things like that, you can see on the L, turns the rings out. That's what you see from a lot of these ring specialists. Because they like to show off every single move. A very solid dismount from him.
If you're an all-around gymnast, how difficult is it to keep up with somebody who's a specialist in one event?
It is hard because they do spend all of their time in the gym on that one event. You know, if you're an all-arounder, you have to learn how to balance that workout and work on every single event while your teammate works on that just one. So it is a little bit of a challenge to figure out what to do, but as you can see from these all-arounders, they're figuring it out.
They're figuring it out pretty well. All right, that's the conclusion of the second rotation, and we'll be back to continue in just a moment here. We conclude the first three rotations here. Oklahoma will be on the floor, Ohio State on the rings, and Arizona State on the pommel horse. Ohio State has a team score of 133.450, Oklahoma 131.650. Taking into account that Oklahoma is now on the floor where they tend to excel, and Ohio State is on the rings, how does that stack up with the two squads right now?
That could be pretty major, actually. Oklahoma is a very good team on a generally higher scoring event than the rings. We're going to need some perfect positions from Ohio State on the rings if they want to beat out Oklahoma on this event. But this routine right here on the floor exercise looking very good so far, other than stepping both feet out of bounds, which is
This meet lasts an hour and 51, so it's less than 2 hours.
This is Jack Freeman, freshman out of Houston, Texas.
It's a slightly different lineup. We were given a tentative lineup, so that there can be changes, and there has been changes made. Freeman leading off on the floor lineup, ready for a tumbling pass here.
Very nice triple full. Little shuffle back, but a very solid routine to open up.
Jack Freeman was listed originally as the alternate, so then he was put into the regular lineup. And gets them off to a good start.
And that's pretty common in meets at the beginning of the season. You know, not really too sure who to put up, who has a better warm-up. That can honestly be a factor in deciding the lineup. Especially with a coach like Mark Williams, very experienced, just achieved his 500th career win last weekend at the Rocky Mountain Open. Very impressive stat.
He's been coach since 2000. He's been a national team coach 2015. He was in the USA Gymnastics Hall of Fame.
Yeah, also the head coach of the Olympic team, I believe in 2016 or 2012.
And obviously that is quite a feather in the hat.
Yeah, a lot of talent coming out of Oklahoma. As we get started on the steel rings, Michael Chan, co-captain of the Buckeyes.
So how is Ohio State typically as a rings team?
There's a lot of variation here. I will say Michael Chan is looking for a perfect routine. Not as much difficulty, but very solid positions, as you can see right there. Very little movement in that straddle planche, and once again, they're looking for perfection here. Chan, excellent at the swinging elements. You can see they lift the cables up as he was going into those Yamawaki skills, the double front flipping elements. Very nice press to handstand as he moves in through the giant. Slight lack of control in the handstand, but a very good dismount to end the routine. Wondering what they will do with that handstand that he didn't quite clearly hold at the end of his routine, but nevertheless very good to start.
Looks like Morgan Saylor is on the floor now for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and you can see very big tumbling once again. Like I said, Oklahoma, a very dynamic team when it comes to the floor exercise. A lot of power behind these guys. Very big pass, found the perfect spot to rebound. Got a very floaty front half into a stick. Again, very clean landings from this man. Should be setting up for the dismount here. And a big dismount into a fantastic landing. They're going to be very happy with that.
Outburst of enthusiasm there for the way he stuck that. You know, one thing when you watch floor routine, the music is such a big part of the whole presentation. And here it's not quite as, because the cavernous arena, there's so many things going on at once, the cheer, you don't notice it maybe as much as you do at other times.
No, not really. And men's gymnastics actually does not have music, unlike floor routine done by women. But honestly, when I do a floor routine myself, if there's some loud music in the background, it really hypes me up to do a good set.
Yeah, because there is music and there is that sense of it, but it's just not center stage the way it is in women's gymnastics, which is more widespread. There's not really that many Division I men's gymnastics teams, but hopefully someday there'll be more.
Definitely. As ASU gets a start on horse, a very difficult skill right there. As we saw from Ricky Trumps, the Tom Fay.
See, there's score jumping. Now Arizona State has a lead.
Here we go with Bobby.
And Ohio
Costa
State and Oklahoma are tied. 145 to 50.
Very good
145
straddle
to
planche.
50.
Closes his feet to make it so much more difficult in the straight planche. Oklahoma and Ohio State, identical scores right now. Tied. Until that score on the floor just got put in. Very nice Yamawakis from Bobby. Vernier on the floor exercise with a very nice double front. Morgan Seiler with a massive 14.6. That is a huge number as Bobby Costia gets the stuck dismount on rings. He'll be very happy with that.
He gave it the extra fist pump there. Meanwhile, Alex Vernier on the floor. He's again outstanding at 18th all around at the U.S. Championships in 2018, a 3-year junior national team member.
Definitely, this guy knows how to stick his landings. Very cat-like when it comes to planting his feet and absorbing all the pressure that comes with doing a tumbling pass. Oklahoma's really putting in the work on the floor. As we go back to the still rings, Donovan Hewitt up next for the Bucks.
He actually was the top performer in the still rings in the Scarlet and Gray competition, so this is his event.
You will see why. This guy has very good strength skills. There's 2 of the Maltese positions.
U.S. Championships qualifier the last 2 years. He's also strong in high bar and vault.
A very strong competitor, and we'll see right off the bat with his strength elements. Like that, very solid in the Maltese. That's a very difficult position. Should do it one more time after the uprise to a straddle planche. Very solid. Good hold, and then closes his legs to lower back down into the Maltese. Solid start from Donnie. Very good Yamawaki.
Okay, now Oklahoma's got a good lead on Arizona
Great start
State.
for Donnie right here.
173.9.
Very good control on the handstand. We haven't seen too much of that, but very solid handstand. He's showing that off very nicely. Just got the dismount to go. Double tuck full in and a stuck dismount. He is very happy. He is one of the most emotional people on our entire team. Loves when he hits a good set.
Yeah, he's having fun with it, and the fans are having fun right along with him.
Yeah, and that's the most important part when it comes to doing gymnastics at a competition. You know, when you're having fun, you're doing good. And Donnie loves to have fun. He just lifts the energy of the entire building.
Spencer Goodell on the floor for Oklahoma.
Yeah, took an unfortunate landing on the double-double. It's a very risky element, a lot going on in that skill. 2 flips, 2 twists. But a very nice handstand right there. Able to control it nicely. Last pass, another double Arabian half out, and a very similar landing to his teammates. Very nicely done.
They're a very deep squad. You can certainly see that and why they've been such a dominant power.
They are definitely one of the best events for Oklahoma as a floor exercise. As we go back to rings, coming up next, co-captain Sean Nybarger. Very clean gymnast when it comes to his work. Usually see him in power events like the floor and vault. He's been dealing with a couple knee injuries, so we shouldn't be seeing him. But nevertheless, rings a very strong event for Sean.
Obviously, this is one sport that probably the athletes are as susceptible to injury as just about any other sport.
Meanwhile, on Palm Horse, Kewan Watts, we saw a great floor set from him. Also very talented on the Palm Horse. Big scissor handstand to start the routine.
He was
very intricate skills on the one pommel.
15th all around in the U.S. Championships.
That's a very hard skill. We saw from Curtis Chang also, the McGillney. But we also have Vitaly Guimaraes on the floor.
Like you just don't know where to look. There's so many great athletes out here at any given time.
Yeah, this is a lot going on. His Q1 should be very happy with that routine. Vitaly, another gymnast that knows how to stick. Just like you see right there, absorbs the landings very well. We saw his work on the pommel horse. He comes out of 5280 gymnastics in Colorado, and that is almost a trademark for that club, is to do flares on the pommel horse on the floor.
We won a
that from Sooner legend Yul Moldauer. That was one of the highlights of his routine.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that they lost at graduation just recently in 2 all-around national titles.
Yeah, Vitaly actually is his club teammate. Sean Nybarger, another great Maltese position from the Buckeyes. And again in the upright squat punch, very solid. As Vitaly finishes up a huge dismount.
He won a national title in 2018 on the floor.
Meanwhile, Sean's still putting in the work on rings. It's very nice.
Workout.
Very nice Yamawakis. The team is behind his back. New dismount for him, double pike. No, unfortunate dismount. That was brand new for him. Just ran out of gas a little bit on that last routine.
So is that primarily the cause of that? Just not quite have enough octane at the end?
Yeah, usually that is the case. When it comes to dismounts, they tend to be not easy, but not very difficult to do when you've trained the dismount so much, but that is when you do it fresh. However, you have to factor in that a dismount is the last skill of your routine.
And that's one of the gets back to what you were talking about, how the athletes improve as the season goes on. He does that in a month or two, he'll probably really stick that.
Definitely, that's 100% expected of any gymnast. As the season goes on, your endurance, your strength, every aspect of your physical fitness will go up, and that you should see some major differences in dismounts especially. Up next on floor, Gage Dyer. This is a crazy stacked routine. Very talented man when it comes to the floor exercise.
He won the bronze medal on the floor at the 19 U.S. Championship, so he's outstanding at this event.
Yeah, and you see why. Very springy. Huge pass. You will not see that again in this competition. The double-double laid out. Many gymnasts doing that tucked, and once again, very nice dismount, or very nice landing from Gage there. The casual double front down as the fourth pass. Very cool skill right there. The full twisting butterfly brings a little extra flair to the routine.
They do things that the human anatomy was never designed to do, and they defy gravity with it.
Back 2.5 comes front half. As one of the very last passes of his routine. You can really see the endurance. As we have Angel Leon on floor. Gage setting up the last dismount with a double-double. And absolutely nailed. That's going to get a massive number. You see many guys starting out their routines with that skill. He finished with the tug double-double.
Yeah, a lot of times they want to get the difficult things out of the way while they're still fresh.
Definitely. And for Gage, you can just tell that's a piece of cake.
And the judges know that too.
Yeah, you can show that off by doing that as the last skill in your routine. Meanwhile, Angel, another gymnast looking for absolute perfection. He is a gymnast that focuses a lot on the basics. Very talented man. You can just see the difference in skills like a simple handstand. Rings turned out, very big control. New dismount for him as well. Tuck double-double. Excellent landing for him. They should be happy with that.
And with that, that concludes the rotation.
I do believe we have one more on rings, Luke Smigliani.
Arizona State concluded on the pommel horse and Oklahoma on the floor. So everyone, all eyes will be here on this final ring performance. Morgan Seiler had a 14-6 on the floor.
Luke's strength on rings is, in fact, his strength. He's a very well-conditioned athlete.
And you can't buy the importance of somebody who's that strong on a difficult event like rings, because it's just money in the bank when it comes to the team score.
That's definitely the case for Luke. Should be opening up his routine with a very massive skill called an Azarian to Maltese, one of the most difficult skills on the entire event.
So Oklahoma with Colin Kellogg, their ring specialist.
You see right there, just floats right up to that Maltese position from below the rings. Incredibly difficult, and once again, the back kick to Maltese.
You got to do all this without grimacing, without showing any signs of real wear and tear, and just stay stoic almost.
If Luke does have a struggle, like I said before, the guys whose powerhouse is usually strength, the struggle is usually a swing. And that can sometimes be the case for Luke, but has made significant improvements in that area.
That concludes the rotation. So, we're halfway through here, and we'll be right back for the second half of the competition here at the Cavelli Center. Ready for the proceeding to the resumption of this meet at the Cavelli Center. The scores after the first three rotations: Oklahoma, they've just had monster floor routines all the way through.
Yeah,
Gage Dyer, he was over 15.
Ohio State was in the lead before, but like I said, Oklahoma can really come through on the floor exercise, and especially with that last routine from Gage Dyer, 15.1. Absolutely monstrous number.
And then you throw in a 14-6 from Morgan Seiler, and
yeah, that all adds up.
203.8 now for Oklahoma, 196.250 for Ohio State, 186.150 for Arizona State. But regardless of how this comes out, and there's still three rotations left, it's a good way to just gauge where you are against the number one team in the nation, because you know that's the level you've got to get to if you're going to be one of those contenders.
Oh, for sure. And for Ohio State, they are on a higher scoring event generally, the vault. And Oklahoma will be on the parallel bars of ASU on the high bar. First up on vault, Justin Achow should be doing a double twist off the table. Beautiful. You can see the pre-flight. That's where a lot of the deductions come from, is that transition from the springboard to the table. Very easy to have form breaks there, but he did it very nicely.
One of the things you see in lower levels of gymnastics, you get two runs at it, but here you just get the one, and you've got to make it right away.
Yeah, one turn, one chance. That's all you get here.
Can't waste anything.
Spencer Goodell goes up on the parallel bars. Very good lines from him.
Whereas for the women's gymnastics, you see the uneven parallel bars. These are the parallel bars.
Yeah, a lot different. A lot of different elements done between the two. Spencer doing a very good job here. Good control on all the skills. Should be setting up a dismount. Usually when somebody does that piece to support into an L press handstand, that means a dismount should be coming up shortly after. Right there, very solid job.
And the high bar, another one of the events that are unique to the men's gymnastics. And it's Christian Jennings starting things off.
Very nice Yamawaki to begin. That is a deduction though, bending the elbows in the giant out. Nice in-bar work. The pirouettes, this is where all the deductions come in on high bars. Dexter Rector is going up on the vault. Yurchenko double full, big step forward, as well as a big triple back into a perfect landing from ASU. They'll be very happy with that.
Cesar Garcia for Oklahoma. Next up on the parallel bars.
This is a very unique start. On the end of the bars, jumping up outside of the parallel bars. I like that start a lot. It brings a little originality to the routine. That is a very difficult skill. You should see that a couple of times from Ohio State as well. It's called a bob start, traveling from one end to the other. It's Kazuki Hayashi on the vault as well. Very nice. Very good landing from him. Similar to Justin Achow, very clean. As Cesar Garcia, putting on a very nice show on P-bars.
Next on the horizontal bar for the Sun Devils will be Andrew Anderson.
There it is, that peach to support, followed by the L press. Usually means a dismount is following. There you go, very nicely done.
Well, once again, as was the case early on, so Ohio State started on the floor. Now starting off in the vault gives them a chance to get this second half of the meet off to a good start.
Yeah, Ricky Troms out of Latvia. Very talented gymnast. You saw a great pommel and floor set from him. He's having a great day. This is his last event of the evening.
One of the Baltic republics, the former Baltic republics of the Soviet Union. Became an independent country again, 1991.
He should be doing the same vault as we saw from Kazuki and Justin. Hoping for a good explosion off the table. A little low on the landing, step out of bounds, but great day for him nonetheless. So we move back to high bar. Tkachev right into the Ginger combination. That's very rare to see, and he also caught the bar very close on that first release. Surprised he still went for it. But the risk paid off. Full twisting double way out. Good landing.
That was Andrew Atkinson. He's specializing in bar events, in the parallel bars and the high bar.
Yeah, Matt Linsky on the parallel bars with that huge skill. That's not a very common skill at all. It's called a bell. Double back in between the bars. It's Jacob Murray on vault. Nice landing from him as well. And again, the flipping skills from the giant elements. Not putting on a great show for the Sooners. Very good double pike dismount. Team likes that routine.
You mentioned the differences between the parallel and the uneven pair. What are the main differences in terms of what is required to excel in either one of those?
Well, see, on the parallel bars, the key things you have to focus on are actually very minor deductions. I think the biggest deduction and a very rookie mistake as well as the hand shuffles. A lot of the time you'll see gymnasts before a big skill move their hand just a little bit. That is a 10th off every time. That is very key to scoring high on parallel bars, is to not adjust those hands. And we got Donnie Hewitt coming up next on vault. He'll be doing a 2.5 twist, an upgrade. Very nice. You can see he tried to open up a little early, try to find that landing and stick. Just a little under-rotated.
He put on a great ring performance earlier and With the vault, the approach is really the key to being able to. You want the speed, but you want the control.
Definitely, and that's the balance of gymnastics. You got to find the in between. Like on floor with the press handstands, you got to find. A lot of the time on vault, you would think that you need to run as fast as you can, but that is definitely not the case at all. You have to find a balance, because if you run too fast, you could start to lose control and hit the board a little differently, and that's the key. That's the balance of the sport. You have to keep finding the lines in between. Losha Verny on the parallel bars. Quick into the double pike, but a fantastic landing from him.
He is one of the outstanding all-around gymnasts for Oklahoma. These go quickly. These routines are not as extended as the floor routine, and we move through it fairly rapidly, especially the vault. So Ohio State has concluded there. So how would you say they came out of that?
Very solid. You can see a lot of their goal on vault was to find good landings, and they definitely did that. It's a lot easier to find a stuck landing when you land facing toward the table as opposed to away for it. It's called a blind landing when you face the direction that you're going, because you can't really spot the ground before you find it. It's a lot harder to stick those, and Ohio State definitely paid off with the solid landings there.
Colton Palmer on the high bar for Arizona State.
Yeah, and David Sandro on P-bars. You saw his palm horse. And very talented gymnast on the P-bars as well, very light. Good Yamawaki on high bar as well. That's a difficult skill. And again, back on the outside of the P-bars for Sandro.
Oklahoma seems to be still upholding the standard that they established in the first part of the meet. They won with the Rocky Mountain event that involved a lot of top teams. They won 5 of the 6 team events there, so they obviously have very few weak spots.
Yeah, and that's going to show the talent of that team and a great coaching job.
Looks like people are taking a photo of the meet with their phone or taking a video of their meet.
Just one more competitor remaining on the parallel bars.
Now Oklahoma took the lead again, 271 to
Kurt Malm
266.
for Arizona State. And Gage Dyer, who is so outstanding on his floor routine.
Yeah, just an excellent tumbler. And parallel bars is generally not a routine that you see a lot of power, but you can see from him as well on a skill like the peach handstand, just flies right up. Has very good control, very talented gymnast. Huge skill on P-bars, called a straddle front, done very well. High bar as well, putting on a show with the in-bar work.
The strength is such a factor, but also you have to gather a lot of momentum just by your technique.
Definitely, and both 2 stuck landings from both of the final performers on high bar and parallel bars.
And Oklahoma beginning to assert themselves here.
Yeah, definitely. They're moving into what I believe is their stronger events. Parallel bars and vault, they're really showing why they were such a dominant team in the years before.
Ohio State now has been through the vault, which is a high-scoring event for them. And the score Oklahoma with 271.2, Ohio State 266.2. Certainly very respectable against such a juggernaut as the Sooners. Arizona State at 234.6. And so now they will rotate. Ohio State will go to the parallel bars. Oklahoma will rotate to the vault.
To the high bar.
To the high bar, and then Arizona State to the vault. But and we're going to see Kiwan Watts here. Now he's the #1 performer for Arizona State, so this should be a good one to watch here.
Yeah, he's also a very powerful gymnast on high bar. Actually comes from a club gym called Above the Bar Gymnastics. So we'll see if he lives up to the club name here.
It's a lofty goal to attain. He said he went through a lot of adversity with a shoulder injury and other personal issues, and he said he went into a little bit of just a depressed period. But he really, Arizona State offered him a chance to get into a top program, and he has just really come on and been outstanding. So let's see his routine here.
Yeah, definitely above the bar that was.
I think he lived up to it.
Big release coming up. Huge. And the Coleman should have one more coming up. The Kovacs. Unbelievable stuff from Kiwan. Very good control. Those are very difficult skills to keep consistent. He's putting on a show right now.
That's the great thing about the sport. You can be way down in the team scores, but you still got individuals who can really gather accolades for their performances.
Very tough skill right there called a half time. Winding up for the dismount here. Beautiful.
Dynamic routine there. And he shows his pleasure at the successful culmination of it. So that concludes our 4th rotation, and we will be right back for rotation number 5. Moving on here to our 5th rotation. Ohio State will be on the parallel bars, Oklahoma on the high bar, and Arizona State to the vault now. And we come to expect what Oklahoma has to bring. What can we look for from the Buckeyes here on the parallel bars?
Yeah, Buckeyes have a lot of variability on the parallel bars, a lot of different skills, a lot of intricate elements. Should be a good show on the parallel bars. We get started on the vault from ASU. Very good double twist, small step back, nicely done.
So Dalton Hopkins.
Looks like we have two powerhouses going head to head. And Justin Achow and Vitaly Guimaraes on high bar. Both very good at their respective events. Justin has great lines on this event. Very good control. Very light. Flies up to that handstand. And here's the bob star that we were talking about earlier, from one end right to the other. Into the Tapel, very nicely done. Very good through Diamondov. That's a new skill for Justin. Just a dismount remaining for him. And perfectly executed dismount from Justin. We'll be very pleased with that.
You mentioned the new skill. How much time in the gym do they try to perfect something before they'll put it into an actual routine?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes people get a skill down very quickly and then just throw it in. But just like that one, a Dion is not a very energy-consuming skill. As we got Vitaly Guimaraes on high bar. Very clean lines. This guy's an expert at this event. He's hitting every handstand. Very good long lines. Setting up for the dismount should be a tough double-double. And another perfect landing.
Well, you can't do much better than that.
No, you cannot. Ohio State whipping out the stick chain for Justin Achow.
Esteban Montiel on the vault. Kewan Watts, we get around to him. He's outstanding on the vault for Arizona State.
Yeah, another very powerful gymnast, Kewan Watts. A lot of adrenaline and power behind his vault.
He'll be coming up a little later in the rotation.
Yeah, up next on the P-bars, we got Dom Shuley. Now this routine right here is a lot of difficulty. Has the highest start value on the whole team. A lot of risk behind this entire set. Very new skill for him right there. Peach to a half, turn, and again without the half turn. And that right there is a skill that is very hard to do. Into the one bar. Big error for him right there, looking to recover nicely. And does so with a really nice Healy. Still a little struggle there. But very good through the underbar still. Double pike and another snug dismount for the Bucks.
Off to a good start on the parallel bars, and that's quite a fine line between introducing those really difficult skills versus not wanting the deductions if you try and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, like we said before, it's a very difficult game you gotta play to where that center point is between difficulty and execution.
If you go for the less difficult, then you've got to be almost perfectly clean in your performance.
Definitely perfectly clean, just like this high bar routine from Oklahoma. Not very much to deduct. Little angle deductions here and there, but looking very nicely so far.
This is Grant Kell.
And another great dismount from the Sooners.
Getting one stuck landing after another here between the Sooners on the high bar and the Buckeyes on the parallel bars.
Yeah, they're really going head to head here.
I think that the teams would feed off one another when they're right next to each other doing a different event, and it's almost like top that.
For sure. You really wanna, if you see a good routine from your opponent, you really wanna go and just beat them at whatever you're doing. It's a very good competition. As we got ASU on vault. Another double twist. Very nicely done.
Ohio State up again for the parallel.
Kazuki Hayashi, massive air on that very difficult skill called a Hanma, going from the upper arm into the full support. Into the peach handstand. We saw this guy on the floor and vault.
Meanwhile, keep an eye on the vault. Kewan Watts will be approaching very shortly.
A slight struggles from Kazuki, a little arch in the back, but pulling through this routine very well so far. He's very good at sticking the double pike dismount. Let's see if he can pull it off here. Ooh. Step back for him. Minor form breaks throughout 13, but they'll be happy. Here we go, Kewan Watts on vault.
You said one of the big things in this great piece I was able to read about him is that just taking a little bit of that momentum off the approach really helped him a lot in this event.
For sure. Here we go. I believe you'll be doing a 2.5 twist, same vault that we saw from Donovan Hewitt. Big air.
Wow.
Barely stepped out of bounds, but I believe he did not sit that down. Just a deep squat. They'll be happy with that. He's smiling, always got a positive attitude.
It happens to the best of them. All these All-Americans out here, you can't find one that didn't That one thing or other didn't go just according to plan.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go. Moshe Verny on the high bar for the Sooners. Very nice half top there, but that should be a large angle deduction. Very nice to stretch the concept.
See the judges intently watching. It's got to be intimidating, but you get used to it.
Yeah, like I said, high bar is a place where a lot of deductions can occur. And here we go. We got Angel Leon in the background on the parallel bars. This is one of his best events right here. Very talented, very smooth on this event. A lot of power behind him as well. He goes through the Tapella, unfortunate error. He has to sit that one down.
We've seen Verny do so well in so many events. It's definitely, and again, all these guys are used to it, but you see the dismount on the parallel bar, but you just have one event after another, you just have to keep that focus constant, but there are the breaks between, and you have to maintain that level. It's not the easiest thing to do. As we now go back to the vault.
Another solid double full. Unfortunately, as you go both feet out of bounds, that'll be a large deduction. But really big air on that vault.
That was Vicky Kolasova on vault for the Sun Devils.
It's typically a high-scoring event.
Look at this. Up next on parallel bars and high bar, both gymnasts out of Canada. Jesse Tyndall for Ohio State and David Sandro for the Sooners on high bar.
And they're about as high level as you can go. I guess we're watching the Canadian Championships right here.
For sure. We got a real treat in both events. Jesse, I know, is a very fluid parallel bar worker.
He was second in the
precise.
all-around Canadian Championships in 2016.
Yeah, very precise in all of his skills. And David as well.
David was on the 2018 Canadian junior national team. His father was an Olympian for Romania in 1996 in Atlanta.
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure to meet his father in the store at training camp. Very knowledgeable man. Just knows so much about the sport.
Of course,
Really
Romania.
taught David well.
That's the country that produced Nadia Comaneci, was the first to get all those perfect 10s in the Olympics in Montreal back in '76.
And here we go, Jesse Tyndall with a very difficult skill to begin. The giant into the Dion, very rare skill. You can see the lightness and the control. And here's his biggest skill. It's called a Macoute. Very nicely done. That's one of the most difficult skills on the P-bars.
You have to have massive strength and make it look light. It's almost a contradiction.
For sure.
But they do it so well.
Jesse has a big dismount double front with a half. Very nice routine from him.
And now his countrymen will try to match it on the high bar. Jesse from Saskatoon, that's the hometown of Gordie Howe.
Here we go with Dave in a high bar. Another gymnast with very good looking lines. Very nice toe point and execution. Looking real good throughout the set. That is a challenging skill, and endo in what's called the L grip position.
Seamless transition from one element to the next.
Double A full, and another step dismount for the Sooners. They're really putting on a show on the high bar.
David Sandro was senior level provincial champion in the all-around last year in Canada as well. So I would say the Canadian competition was pretty well a standoff.
Yeah, I would say so.
Arizona State has concluded on the vault.
Jesse Tyndall with a big score on parallel bars, 13-7-5. Bucks
Now
really
Ohio
appreciate that
State
one.
is in the lead, 330 to 319 to 311.
Sean Nybarger, season co-captain. He's made a lot of improvements on this event. Very hard to find a deduction in this man's set. And see right up to the handstand of the peach. And again with the box star, probably the highest one out of the whole competition. Again into the
I
Tapel.
wanna have some fun.
Got a couple skills remaining.
My body
A giant up next in what's called a Suarez.
Now
Back from the half
Oklahoma's
turn.
in second place with
One more skill
325
coming
to
in, that's a
319. There's a lot of score jumping in this gymnastics meet.
And that's a stud dismount for the Bucks. Bust out the stick chain. They're going to be very happy with that one.
It was, like you said, pretty hard to find a deduction in that. And a flair for performance as well. And speaking of which, back to the high bar for Oklahoma.
Some very high releases.
Randy Scharnhost. A high flyer.
Those skills called Takachas, where you reverse the movement of the giant, do a counter throw to the momentum of the bar, right on the money. Winding up for the dismount. Oklahoma is just putting on a show with these dismounts.
That was really an eye-catching performance.
Yeah, definitely. Sean Nybarger with the stick chain.
There's probably about 20 minutes left in this gymnastics
So
meet.
now Gage Dyer again, who's certainly been one of the top all-around performers here tonight. We'll conclude things on the high bar.
Now, you know, the last score probably hasn't been updated for Oklahoma. So their score is probably higher than
The 2018
325.
U.S. Championship on the all-around. Four-time all-around Oklahoma champion, so a local product.
Yeah, the one from the U.S. Championships is a very impressive stat. That's where the best of the best in the country compete against each other. That's very impressive for him. Also a very good high bar performer.
He won 6 of 7 individual conference titles last year. And won bronze at the U.S. Championship last year on the floor, 5th on the vault, 14th all around.
My personal experience as a gymnast, that's one of the
Oh, there must be another
annoying things a
performer
judge
for
can do is
Oklahoma
ice
on
you
the
out,
high
make you wait a
bar.
long time.
Now Oklahoma's got the
Heard
lead,
that sentiment
338
expressed
to
from other gymnasts as
332.
well.
Definitely, but very good start from Gage as we see the Yamawaki to the Ginger connection. A lot of people today doing a half talk. Got a couple more pieces to go. Some salty maybe. This one with a half turn. Slight elbow bend on the giant out, but looking very strong. We get another stuck dismount. Yes, we can. In the Sooners.
Yeah, he's just been sensational tonight. Yeah, how much, when we see these intricate routines, how much of it is just on automatic pilot and they're doing something they've done in the gym many times before?
Yeah, see, when you train something so much, when I was talking about the mental game, sometimes you even shut the mind off completely and you know that your body can go on autopilot. And because you've trained it so much, it's it's almost like an everyday occurrence for you to just go up and do that routine. That's clearly the case with people like Gage Dyer on high bar.
Absolutely. All right, we got one rotation to go. We'll take a break. We'll be back with it coming up. Ready for the final rotation. And the score update, Oklahoma at 339.7. Ohio State at 332.15. And Arizona State at 319.1. Oklahoma on the vault. They get off to a good start there.
Seemingly perfect landing on the vault.
Morgan Seiler.
Excellent start for the Sooners.
He's had a good night as well.
I think
The Ohio
Oklahoma's
State
going
fans
to win this meet.
entering
If Ohio
into some
State
cheering with their
finishes in
supporters.
this meet,
Yeah, a little fan
I don't think they're
competition
finished
between
third.
the
I think Arizona
Boomer Sooner
State's going to
and the
finish third.
OHIO.
But I think Ohio State's going to finish
There's a good
second.
camaraderie. I think that that's one thing with gymnasts, especially at this level. They've all gone through the same things. They all feel like comrades in many ways.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to respect somebody that's gotten to this level in this sport. Now we're on the parallel bars, Arizona State. Dylan Hopmeyer.
Jack Freeman on the vault. Another stuck vault.
Another outstanding one.
Yeah, they're really coming in clutch right now.
You get the feeling that they just are feeling it. They're in the zone right now.
Yeah,
as a
the
team.
energy is high for the University of Oklahoma as Michael Chan goes up on the high bar.
The whole team erupted twice in a row after those first two vaults.
Good start on the Yamawaki from Chan. Very good hat talk, and his big release is coming up called the Kovacs. Right on the bar. Great job from him. Moving into the in-bar work. Very good jam to handstand. A lot of shoulder flexibility required in that skill. Oklahoma on the vault, another very solid vault from them.
That's three in a row. They just really.
A stuck dismount from Michael Chan.
Yeah, Ohio State matches their enthusiasm with a great conclusion to that opening high bar routine. But Oklahoma is just sailing now in terms of the points.
You have to take into
368.4.
consideration that they have also done 3 vaults as in comparison to the 1 high bar routine from Oklahoma. So it's not over until it's over. Nevertheless, Oklahoma did have a big lead coming into this rotation.
They've certainly
against the Bucks.
solidified that with their vault performance here so far.
Yeah, and up next, Vitaly Gimaraes.
You might make it 4 in a row.
This is going to be a vault with very, very minimal deduction. This is a Yurchenko style vault with 2.5 twists. And like we saw on floor, very good at the landing. Yurchenkos typically have less deduction than other vaults. And there you go.
And they are just going wild over there. All the team is just in ecstasy when they see these performances, and he's looking over and getting all the fans going too. They've got a pretty healthy contingent of Oklahoma Sooner fans that have made this trip.
Definitely, that was a perfect vault. I couldn't find any deduction on that vault.
Well, you impressed me by telling me that you actually know Yurchenko, who invented the Yurchenko, and maybe she wouldn't have been able to find any problem with that.
Definitely, she would appreciate that vault.
And back to the high bar for Ohio State.
Yeah, Dominic Shuley up next. Very good releases from him. As you see the Takachev skills. Should be one more with a half turn. Very nicely done. Skill is called a Zuli Min. The giant full pirouette on one arm. We've seen some good stuff from Dom though. Couple more skills until the dismount, one more giant on Going on is Alosha Verni on vault. And once again, Oklahoma is just unconscious.
I don't think they've had so much as a small step on any of those vaults.
This is unreal vault rotation from Oklahoma.
But
As Ohio State
State's
finishes
up
up
too.
a fantastic rotation as well. Energy's high in the building on the last rotation.
It's almost like, as you said, the two sides are competing with each other.
Yeah.
And the gymnasts are giving them things to cheer about.
Yeah, but what an unbelievable rotation on vault from Oklahoma. And the last guy up for their squad is Gage Dyer. You saw the day that he was having.
Somehow I think it's going to be 6 stuck vaults in a row.
Yeah, but the day he's having, that is not an unlikely scenario.
They've all signaling number 1, his teammates and the fans from across the way. Meanwhile, Kazuki Hayashi on the high bar. He's been very entertaining tonight. As you see Gage Dyer getting ready to go.
And here we go, Gage Dyer setting up a big vault, capable of doing a triple twist. 2.5, an unfortunate ending to his day. You can tell he was really trying to find that stuck landing, but
I wonder if there was extra pressure on him because of what everybody else had done.
yeah.
Everybody was anticipating.
You can tell he was really fighting for that stick, but like I said before, they do get to drop one vault, and that will definitely be the one they drop. Either way, Oklahoma putting up a massive score of 412. Very big upgrade.
That would have been
From the
absolute
previous
perfection if he had managed to stick that last one, and it still is, because if they dropped that score, all the remaining ones were just spot on. So here we go now.
Stone cold rotation from them, but here we go, Kazuki Hayashi. This guy is a high flyer. Nice half tock to open up. And here's a big one, the Kovacs. On the bar once again. He is not done though. He's got 2 more releases coming up. Just one, excuse me. I believe he made an adjustment in that routine. Smart decision on his behalf. There we go for the dismount. Excellent finish. The amount of stuck dismounts we are seeing today.
The building's just exploding time and time again. And the Buckeyes should be accumulating some solid scores here on the high bar. How would you just assess this from up high here, watching your teammates, how they performed here tonight?
Yeah, definitely a lot of potential in this squad. Definitely, we can say that rings is the weak spot for this Buckeye team. But Oklahoma, what an unbelievable performance for them in the last 2 events. Floor and vault, you can see the power behind them. And especially that vault rotation, that was unbelievable to watch. But here we go, up next on high bar, Angel Leon. I believe he has the highest start value out of anyone on the Buckeye team. He has got a great mixture of high flying release moves as well as very intricate on the bar elements. Very good variety.
Well, Arizona State is still part of this on the parallel bars.
With an unfortunate error from Esteban Monteo.
They've definitely been up against it here tonight. They've had their moments.
live skills that I was talking about. Full top, we saw that with the half turn from other gymnasts right there. He does it with a full, and here's the big stuff right here, the layout top.
Ooh, a fall for Ohio State.
No, that's what those mats are for.
Yeah, and that's the risk in gymnastics. High flying release moves, bringing a lot of difficulty, but there is also that risk of the
It's
fall.
miraculous you don't see it more often, but it just shows how skilled these athletes are.
These guys are trained to do this kind of work. Obviously, like that sometimes doesn't really pay off.
Like I said, it happens all the time, just in the gym and getting ready to unveil at an actual competition.
Straddle done very well. Should have one more coming up with the half turn. Meanwhile, in the background, Kewan Watts, one of his best events, the parallel bars. Saw open up the peach half. Stuck dismount from Angel Leon. Virtually perfect set other than that fall.
Watts is talented as any gymnast here, but he had a little trouble with that dismount.
Kewan Watts with a very good set to finish off his day. He's had a solid one here.
So that concludes their rotation.
2 more gymnasts to go on the high bar. Justin Achow and Jesse Tyndall will be the anchor.
Justin Achow, 3-time men's U.S. national team performer. He was a level 9 and a level 10 national champion.
Yeah, unbelievable talent from this young man. Especially for a freshman, his mentality. He knows the pressure situations. He's a very experienced gymnast.
Interesting when you look at gymnastics as a sport, you think about in terms of the added experience and so forth, and yet so many of those Olympic champions are teenagers.
Yeah, definitely.
They're at the top of the sport at that age.
Let's see how he handles this pressure. This is his biggest release right here. The laid out, the tuck Kovacs took the layout out of the routine. Probably a smart decision for him. You see his lines. Very nice. Everything hitting the handstand.
For all the other elements, it's all about straight legs and pointed toes.
Here you go, the double dismount. Very nicely landed. Angel Leon put up a 13.05 even with the fall. That is a big number with a set that has a fall. Considering someone like Kazuki Hayashi hit set only got a 12.95. You just see that the rest of the routine was fantastic.
See, I think Oklahoma's done.
We have one
I don't
more
think they have any
gymnast coming
more
up.
vaults. So
For
I
the
don't. I
Buckeyes.
think 4-12-2-0
The
is
anchor,
going to be
Jesse
Oklahoma's final score.
So an NCAA qualifier. He helped Ohio State beat Illinois. It was ranked number 4 last year, and his high bar routine was the big contributor to that.
Yeah, I competed in that competition. I will tell you, being out there.
I mean, I think Ohio
Buckeyes
State
ended
can
up
finish
very
second, but I don't
This is
think
somebody
they're
that has
going
ice
to
in his
finish third.
veins, does not feel the
I
pressure.
mean, I don't think they're going to finish first. Because I don't think they're going to
The
get.
ability to defeat a team like that shows the
Ohio
capability
State's
the Buckeyes
got
possess.
397.25.
Definitely, and here we go. Jesse not really having a lot of high-flying releases in his routine, but if you pay attention to the in-bar skills, he has a lot of
Because, I
intricate
mean,
elements.
he'd have to score
Like that
over
one right there.
15
Unfortunate big
or
error.
16 on high
It's
bar.
supposed to go over the bar.
Get over 4.
But that half top goes right to the handstand. Here's his one release move called the Tkachev. right on the bar. And these pirouetting skills are what I find to be the most impressive about his routine. Very good sticker. Let's see if we can plant this one down. There we go. Very strong finish.
And all the Buckeyes, coaches included, seem to be in good spirits over things.
Definitely, we can see the amount of potential that this team has. Again, everybody's very young. And that is the end of the competition.
There you see the scores. Oklahoma 412.2, Ohio State 397.25, and Arizona State 380.7. But if you want to be the best, you've got to compete against the best, and they've got to they've set the bar, if you will, for what their goals are now.
Definitely, we can tell the amount of skill that a team like Oklahoma possesses, especially in events like.
Well, maybe that
Lord
397 might not be
and
final, because that might
last ball
not
rotation
include
is
that
pretty much a
last
dagger with, I believe it was
person
5 out of 6
Kendall
stuck
doing high
balls.
bar. Or maybe that
is
was an
absolutely unheard of
expedition.
in
I
an
don't
event
know.
like that. Well, such a big skill coming down to one landing. Absolutely incredible performance from Oklahoma.
We not only heard of it, we saw it with our own eyes here tonight. And certainly they're #1 in the nation for a reason.
Definitely.
Well, Ohio State finishes second in the competition, and glad to work with you. And hope to be back out there competing very shortly, but you've definitely got a future in this business too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For Max Andrushenko and our crew, Greg Frankie saying,
Well,
so
maybe
long
that
from
is
the
the
Cavalli
final
Center. You're
score,
watching BTN Plus.
397. I didn't know if it was, as I thought maybe that score where the last guy was doing the high bar, maybe that was an expedition and didn't count for the score. For more full college gymnastics meets, hit the big red button and subscribe. Peace out, YouTube.